left town in my brother's old Tacoma, 2 bags and a box of secondhand dreams. Mama cried, said call me when you're lonely. I said I will, but I knew what that meant for me. Coffee on the dash, map on the seat, radio low, just the gravel in me. Every mile marker felt like a mirror, showing all the parts I'd never seen. I was running from the echoes, running from the doubts, chasing some horizon I couldn't live without. But every sunset started looking like home. On this back road to myself, I'm turning all my maybes into stories I can tell. Every wrong turn, every short breath, every tear that I have hidden in my chest kicks up dust, but clears my head as well. I thought I left that girl behind, but she's riding in the front seat now. On this back road to myself. Credit card slips, laughed with strangers, learned their small town secrets, heard my father's voice when I almost quit. Got a letter from a boy who used to love me, said he settled down and named his daughter Grace. Smiled for him, then cried in the walk-in. Guess you can miss a life you couldn't face. I was measuring my worth by who was holding on, by the rings I didn't wear, by every almost, every wrong. But in the quiet I could hear my heart say, stay on this back road to myself. I'm turning stories I can tell. Every promise that I broke then taught me how to keep the ones I'm making now. Instead of dust on my boots, but I'm walking straight as hell. I thought I lost that girl for good, but she's singing at the wheel somehow. On this back road to myself. Pulled over by a field of fireflies, called my mama just to hear her smile. She said, baby, I don't need you to be perfect, I just need you to be here for a while. And it hit me like a Sunday hymn. All the leaving just led me back in. On this back road to myself, I'm turning all my heartache into stories I can tell. Every goodbye, every hard truth, every scar that I've been hiding, like a bruise lights the way. Yeah, it all becomes a trail. I thought I'd left that girl behind, but she's the one who's pulling me out. On this back road to myself. Windows down, night air in my head. Same old truck, but I'm not the same girl there. On this back road, I finally found myself. You were chalk dust on a Friday, sketched hearts in the margins of my name. I was half there in the hallway, already packing up and planning my escape. You said, girl, this town's a slow song, you're the needle dropping out the groove. I laughed, tossed you my denim jacket, said somebody's gotta carry both our troops. We were all big talk on the small town swing, feet kicked up, but tied at everything. You swore the county line was a finish line too. I just laughed, said watch what I do. Now I'm on a back road to the front road, baby. Dust on my boots, dreams in the rear view, baby. You're a ghost in the bleachers, still calling my name. Every mile I go, your picture in the frame. I keep turning up the heartache, driving through the doubt. On this back road to the front row, I'm finally burning out the catch you talked about. the sunrise, 40 bucks in mama's old suitcase. Sing to empty coffee counters, trading tips for a corner on the stage. You kept sending riddle postcards, hope you're happy, hope you're doing fine. I could hear you in the questions, but you never once said you were mine. So I stitched my fear to a second-hand dress, learned every yes can sound like less when the ones you love only half believe you. Teach a busted heart new ways to breathe. Now I'm on a back road to the front row, baby. Dust on my boots, dreams in the rear view, baby. You're a ghost in the bleachers, still calling my name. Every mile I go, you're a picture in the frame. I keep turning up the heartache, driving through the down on this back road to the front row. I'm finally burning out the cage you talked about. Hey, on this back road to the front row now. Last night the crowd sang every word to a song I wrote about you. Funny how the girl you tried to slow is the one you're singing to. If you're out there by that rusted fence, radio up, windows down, I hope you hear they said it made some sense. Why I had to leave the town, 'cause I'm on a back road to the front row, baby. Dust on my boots, but my heart feels steady. You're a page in a chapter I finally closed. I forgave you in the second encore. I keep turning up the mercy, laying the past down on these back roads to the front row. I found a bigger kind of love than you allowed. Oh yeah, on this back road to the front row We were barefoot on the back porch till I sweat on your white t-shirt. You said, someday we'll laugh at this, while my mascara tried to blur your words. Pick up keys on the table, your half-packed life on the floor. Mama's voice saying you'll be fine through the crack of that screen door. But how do you call it growing up when it all feels like giving in? You pulled me in for one last kiss, I tasted salt and summer wind. Backseat Polaroids scattered on the dash, every frozen smile, every midnight crash. We were young, we were dumb, we were sure it would last like ink that never fades. Now I'm driving past the house where we carved our names, heart beating like a runaway freight. Trying not to look, trying not to break, but the past keeps climbing in like backseat Polaroids in my hands again. Heard you took that job in Denver, saw the proof in your mama's eyes. She said you're doing really good, like it's a secret I ain't tried. I still park behind the diner where you traced hearts in the steam, coffee cold in the paper cup while I argue with the dream. 'Cause everybody says you'll find someone like it's listed on a shelf, but every time I think I'm done, I find another bit of us I've kept, yeah. Backseat Polaroids scattered on the dash, every frozen smile, every midnight crash. We were young, we were dumb, we were sure it would last like ink that never fades. Now I'm driving past the house where we carved our names, heart beating like a runaway freight. Trying not to look, trying not to break, but when your taillights hit that road. But baby, turns out endings are just chapters we don't know. So I'm tucking all our ghosts in a box beneath my bed. I'll keep the love, lose the weight, say the words we never said. Hey, to these backseat Polaroids scattered on the dash, every frozen smile, every midnight crash. We were young, we were dumb, but we lived it so fast. Now I'm learning how to change. I still drive past the house where we carved our names, but I don't hit the brakes. I don't taste the same egg, roll the windows down, let the memories fade. You're a picture in the past, just backseat Polaroids in the rearview glass. I was born on a road that just circles a town. Same four turns, same church, then you're turning around. Daddy's hair smelled like diesel and rain. Mama canned peaches, hum through the pain. Friday nights, rusted bleachers, half-broke lights, boys in no ball caps trying to start fights. I kissed one once, tasted dust and cheeked in. He said, girl, this is it. I said, this can't be it. I traced my name on a fogged up pane, watched that bus roll through like a silver vein. Heart in a suitcase, face in the glass, every mile forward, a funeral for the past. Oh, I'm halfway out of Kansas, halfway scared to death. Every mile marker, stealing one more breath. Got a Polaroid of mine and a Bible in the dash. All my broken little wishes rattling in the back. Leaving is a promise I'm learning how to keep. I'm halfway out of Kansas and halfway on my feet. You called twice, said the dog still sleeps by my door, said my room looks the same, just a little bit more empty now, like the space in my chest where the goodbyes live and the guilt won't rest. I pulled that map from the pocket of my jeans, a red-pad river running through my dreams. If home is a house built on never change, why is my whole soul screaming for strings? Hey, I'm halfway out of Kansas, halfway facing down. Every acre that I'm passing feels like sacred ground. Got a coffee stain that missing, that I'm terrified to fail. But these white lines spell a language I was always meant to trail. If running is a question, then this right here's my pleas. I'm halfway out of Kansas, chasing who I'll be. Maybe I'll find a porch light left on a hand-me-down town where I still belong. Or maybe belonging was never a place, just a girl in a window finally turning her face. I'm halfway out of Kansas, halfway to the sun. and you're turning around. Daddy's hands smelled like diesel and rain. Mama canned peaches through the pain. I was born on a road that just circles the towns. I was born on a road. I was born on a road. I was born on a road that just circles the town. I was born on a road. I was born on a road. I was born on a road that just circles the town. I was born on a road. I was born on a road that just circles the town. I was born on a road. 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 I was born. I was born on a road. 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 I was born on a road that just circles the towns. I was born on a road. 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 I was born on a road that just circles the town. Same for returns. Same for turns. Same for turns. I was born on a road. You had the map on your bedroom wall, thumbtacks, strings, and a Sharpie star. Say one day I'm gonna chase it all, while I learned every line of your heart. Truck keys hanging on a rusty nail, your playlist burning to my brain. You were restless as a summer hill, I was steady as a county rain. And I swore that loving you meant cheering from the side, but every mile you drove pulled something out of my eyes. Yeah, I was a backseat to your dreams, suitcase love on a short-term lease. You were gone before the coffee steam, chasing some faraway heat. I held the door, I packed your things, bit my tongue when goodbye stung clean. Guess I was always in between your next town and the girl you leave. Just a backseat to your dream. You called from a diner in Tennessee, static laughter, the clink of glass. Said the crowd sang louder than you could breathe. Asked if I missed you, I just laughed, 'cause your boots are under my old front bed. Your notes still taped to the fridge. Save a spot for me is what you said, but you keep living on that bridge. And I kept that porch light on like it might pull you home, but the brighter that it shone, the more I stood here alone. I was the backseat to your dreams, shotgun heart in the in-between. You were smoke rolling off the scene, I was roots tangled in the creek. I held my breath, I clipped my wings, told myself this is what creases flat. Drew my own red line on roads you'll never track. If I'm just a story you sing when you get tired, then I'll be the fire you can't put out, can't rewrite. I'm not the backseat to your dream, got my own tag, my own key. I'm the one in the driver's seat, windows down, finally breathing deep. You'll hit a town, you'll hear my name as some stranger humming this refrain, and maybe then you'll finally see what you lost when you lost me. I was never just a dream, I was more than your backseat. You pulled up in that dusty blue Ford, August air stuck to my skin. Bare feet on your cracked dashboard, laughing at the shape we were in. Your jacket on my shivering knees, radio low but my heart loud. I was tracing little suns on the glass, trying not to think about this town. You said someday we'll drive straight out, like it was simple as turning around. I believed every word in your mouth, every word in your mouth. Backseat of August, I swore I was fearless, kissing you slow under burned out signs. You promised a highway and I promised I'd mean it. Thought we'd outrun all our parents' lives. Now you're a song in a truck I don't drive, I still taste dust when I close my eyes. Backseat of August, where we got honest and learned how forever can lie. Your mama cried at the kitchen screen door, suitcase full of nothing I need. You said, wait right here, I'll be back in an hour. Engine on, hand shaking on the key. Firefly stitched little holes in the dark. I rehearsed how goodbye might sound, but the porch light flickered twice, then stayed, and your taillights never turned around. Your brother came out, said he ain't coming, kicked a stone, tried to meet my eyes. I drove home with my mouth still humming every verse of that goodbye. Backseat of August, I swore I was fearless, kissing you slow under burned out signs. You promised a highway and I promised I'd mean it. Thought we'd outrun all our parents' lives. Now you're a song in a truck I don't drive, I still taste dust when I close my eyes. Backseat of August, where we got honest and learned how forever can lie. I still keep that jacket in the back of my closet. Oh, smells like sunblock gasoline and hope we had once. Some nights I take the long way past your old cul-de-sac, roll the window down, hear the years rolling back. Backseat of August, I swore I was fearless, kissing you slow under burned out signs. You promised a highway and I promised I'd mean it. Thought we'd outrun all our parents' lives. Now I'm the one driving and I don't need guiding, but some part of me still in your drive. Backseat of August, where we got honest and learned how forever can lie. Backseat of August, first time I noticed how Left your boots by the bedroom door. Said, I swear I called from the road. Coffee turned cold on the checkered cloth as the dust off your taillights rose. Mama said love is a long dirt trail full of ruts you don't always see. Now your side of the closet's a quiet space where your shirt still lean on me. But I'm tired of talking to your shadow, baby. Tired of waiting on that phone. If the map won't lead you back here, maybe it can lead me home. I'm taking that back road to myself, past the old red barn, past the wishing well where I first learned how to drive, how to stall, how to cry when goodbyes felt bigger than the sky. I'll sing out the hurt till it turns to help, kick off these doubts like mud from my treads. Every mile I leave of you on that shelf, I'm getting closer on this back road to myself. Pulled in slow by the rusty gate, every fence post carved with our names. Saw your letters fading in the summer sun, like a promise that slipped from your hands. I walked that creek where we skipped flat stones, let the cold run over my feet. Said a prayer for the girl I used to be, who thought love meant losing her keys. Now I'm done mistaking storms for shelter. Oh, done pretending I can't tell. If it breaks me just to hold you, then it's time I break the spell. I'm taking that back road to myself, past the old red barn, past the wishing well where I first learned how to fight, how to laugh, how to fail, and still get back in the saddle when I fail. I'll sing out the hurt till it turns to hell, kick off these doubts like mud from my treads. Every mile I leave of you on that shelf, I'm getting closer on this back road to myself. Headlights cut through these crooked pines, wind blowing pieces of your name behind. I don't hate you, I just can't stay in a story where I fade away. So I'm taking this back road to myself, past the old red barn, past the wishing well where that barefoot kid with the tangled hair still believes she's going somewhere. I'll sing out the hurt till it turns to hell, kick off these doubts like mud from my treads. You were a chapter, not the whole bookshelf. I'm finally closer on this back road to myself. Third cup of coffee, still in your t-shirt, your boots by my doorway like proof that you were here. You left in a hurry, said I'll call you later. Your laugh in the hallway still ringing in my ears. I keep circling the same old questions in this tiny kitchen light. If I pour you out, do I lose my blessing? Do I keep you in my life? 'Cause I fall a little farther with each sip of you. Every story that you tell sounds like the plain truth. You say you're just passing through town, but my heart's already slowing you down. If this is just a moment that I can't keep, why does it feel like roots running underneath? I'm scared and I'm ready, and it terrifies me. This third cup of coffee's tasting like maybe. You talked about Denver, your dad and the weather, how you're bad at staying anywhere too long. I lied and said I'm easy, said I'm fine with fleeting, but my hands were shaking when you turned that record on. like you've done it all your life. Now there's echoes in the quiet doorway where you kissed me last goodnight. And I fall a little farther with each sip beer. Every sunrise in my head looks like it's with you. You say you're just passing through town, but my heart's already writing it down. If this is just a moment that I can't keep, why does it feel like roots running underneath? I'm scared and I'm ready, and it terrifies me. This third cup of coffee is tasting like maybe I'm foolish, maybe you're honest, maybe it's both at the same time. If you turn the truck around, I'll leave the porch light on. You can call it yours or call it mine. Hey! 'Cause I fall a little farther with each sip of you. Every ordinary thing turns into something new. You said you were passing through town, now your boots and your heart both settle down. If love was just a moment I couldn't keep, how'd it end up lying here beside me, fast asleep? I was scared and I'm grateful you stayed to see that third cup of coffee turning into you and me. That third cup of coffee turning into you and me. You were parked by the diner and closing windows down. Summer on the dash, your ball cap turned to hide those red eyes. You said she left, took everything I had. I was wiping down tables in silence, trying hard not to stare at the floor. You laughed once, said, ain't it funny how a life just walks out the door? You said, I don't wanna talk about her, but your voice shook on every word. I said, alright, we can talk about you, and something in your shoulders stirred. We were halfway out of this town long before we knew the roads by name. Two small hearts beating way too loud in a world that never learned our flames. You said, maybe there's a map in your smile. I said, maybe there's a home in your laugh. We were halfway out of this town just by sitting in the dark out back. Oh, 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 just by sitting in the dark out back. Oh, oh, oh. 3 months and you knew all my bruises, every fight I'd had with my old man. You told me how your mama stopped singing when the bottle took over his hands. We shared french fries and second chances, counting tips on my kitchen floor, tracing highways on coffee-stained napkins, promising we'd drive till we were sure. You said, I don't know if I'm ready to leave every broken thing behind. I said, maybe they're already fading every time you let your heart unwind. Yeah, we were halfway out of this town long before we packed a single bag. Every late night low light talking around pulled us further from the weight we dragged. You said, maybe we could start with Sunday. I said, maybe we could start tonight. We were halfway out of this town just by turning on a different light. Oh, 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 just by turning on a different light. Then one dawn we hit the highway, your old truck humming, hands in mine. Rear view full of rust and rumors, front windshield full of we'll be fine. You cried when we passed the thank you sign. I laughed, said, look at us now. You whispered, guess we finally did it. I said, we've been leaving for years somehow. Yeah, we were halfway out of that town the first night you pulled up, falling apart. Every broken, quiet, secret sound was a step toward a brand new start. You said, funny how the leaving started right there by the dumpsters in the back. We were halfway out of that town just by learning how to love like that. Oh, 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 left that note on the counter, coffee ring on your last goodbye. Truck keys tangled in my fingers, hands were shaking but I drove all night. Mile signs turned into questions, every town felt like a start. Sang along to old love stories, tried to drown you out, found my own heart. Every bridge I crossed, I felt one burn behind me. Every tear that dropped was leaving you inside me. On this back road to myself, dust on the dash, prayers on my breath. I've been losing you to find my way, breaking apart just to be okay. On this back road to myself, every turn is a truth I never said. I was chasing your shadow, breaking my hell. Now I'm finally coming home. Skipped a stone and watched it sing. Thought of all the times I followed, when I knew I should have stopped to think. I was so afraid of being there alone, but the quiet in my chest feels a little like a home. On this back road to myself, dust on the dash, prayers on my breath. I've been losing you to find my way, breaking apart just to be okay. Your shadow breaking my hell. Now I'm finally coming home. On this back road to myself. Headlights, late nights, talking to the girl I used to be, saying you were never hard to love, you were just hard to see. If healing is a long ride, I'll keep rolling till it's done, 'cause I'm tired of being halfway to everyone. On this back road to myself, dust on the dash.